When the content is there, how do you get people over the hump how do you create this viral reaction if you have fairly decent content?
You take the next step, which is actually caring about the audience. The content's the smallest part, and that's where everybody's confused. I spent 25 minutes taping a show on every TV. I had the chops and the charisma and all that, but it was the 15 hours a day that I spent after that building a real community that changed the reason people don't replicate what I do is because it's really hard. It's really hard to spend 15 hours. I mean, people are like, well, can I spend 2 hours a day? Sure. If I do 7 push-ups a day, something will happen. If you do 700 a day, much more will happen. And so when people try to figure out when they're going to do their real job, because they think this is, see, for me, social media or engaging or creating a true audience, that was the stake, I always say. And all the other stuff, the content, believe it or not, was the pepper. The smart moves and this, that was the salt and pepper. For almost everybody else, they think social media is a nuance. They don't even think it's salt and pepper. At least I think they are now. A year ago, they thought it was like oregano, or like the random cilantro or something. So I mean, I think that the way you get over the hump is you really go out to the community. For me, how much time are you going to other blogs in your sphere and leaving relative comments that aren't spam with links back to you, but you're truly becoming part of the conversation? How many hours a day are you spending on search.twitter? In all my chaos, I will look at every single @GaryVee on Twitter before I go to sleep every day of my life. Look at every single one of them. And there's a lot of them now, which is nice. Which is always funny to me. I go into brands and I'm like, all right, they're like, what's the first thing we should do? I'm getting pumped, I stood up. I'm like, okay, the first thing we should do is we should never let anybody, pro or con, talk about our brand online and not engage them. Not one. Not one. I loved your soda, I hate your soda. I loved your movie, I hated your movie. Every single person that says something, we engage. They look at me like I'm totally out of my mind. These are companies that, are multi-billion-dollar companies. Like, we can't do that. I'm like, why can't you do that? I'm like, I'm one stinking dude. I get more app replies than you do, and I do it. You can hide behind your logo. We can hire 30 people. It's not even a personal brand. That's hard. When you're a logo, it's cake. There's plenty of softwares out there, to manage this. Guys, here's what it comes down to. Literally, 99% of the people that are in business don't care about their customer. They just care about selling their customer. And that's why things like Zappos happen. Because when somebody comes along and actually does care, even in a solid way, not even to the ultimate level, you win. I can't wait for it to rain. We have a new initiative at Wine Library. If any of you live locally, we have employees that are going to stand outside with umbrellas. If you come out of the car and you don't have one, we're going to run out and walk you to the front of the store with an umbrella. That's nice. That's the kind of things that are going to separate. And 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, that wasn't as interesting from a business tactic. I'm not Mother Teresa, from a business tactic. It wasn't as interesting because that woman or that man might have thought it was amazing, but they would have went home and what? Even if they were the biggest yenta on the Upper East Side, they might have been able to tell 20 people. Now, you better believe it. A little tweet, a little Facebook status, and thousands of people know about the good things you're doing. And the bad things, by the way.